Right then, beautiful people, hello and welcome to round 5 here in season 2 of Purple Sector Championship. We're here for the Austrian Grand Prix short circuit, but it's always a good race here today. We've got qualifying up first and it's already started, so let's get straight into the action. Apologies for the delay on the stream. The lobby was delayed due to the IRL sprint qualifying, but we're here. We've only got 11 drivers here today, unfortunately, but it still is going to be a good race nevertheless. It's going to be a shortened race, so it's only 35% compared to 50. I'm just going to double check the audio. But how is everybody doing in the chat? Let's see who's in here. Jean-Claude. We've also got Evelina as well. Welcome in. I'm just going to compare my voice to the car. So let's go on board with Venkus as he is approaching the Sector 2 line on his first flying lap. The first flying lap of the session, as a matter of fact. So we've got 15 minutes remaining. So let me just do this audio check. 2 seconds. Just going to turn it down a little bit, my voice, but there we go. Welcome in, Lambada, Jean-Claude, Evelina Lambada. Last Gen Newt goes to the top of the time, replaces Venkus. Right, let's lock in now. FC Dale, Jean-Claude as well on a lap time. We've got Thunderino on an out lap as well. Dale is coming around the final corner now, so let's see what he can do. Just oversteps his mark, and that shows you fine margins here in the Austria qualifying. And Dale invalidates his lap on the final corner. Let's ride on board with Thunderino because I'm expecting this to be up towards the sharp end in terms of lap time. I'm expecting a last gen Newt versus Dale versus Thunderino fight for pole here today. The Haas driver and the Williams both get out of the way nicely for Thunderino. Sets a purple first sector. That is because he's quickest in the first. It's only really one corner. Turn 3 is the one he's just come out of, but it's only because there's a little kink on the straight. But here we go into turn 4. Thunderino opting not to use all the inside curb. I'm not too sure which is meta on this game, as I hasn't really done a lot of driving myself. You've got to use a lot of the curb on the entry there. Swoop the car in very easy if you're touching inside front on that curb on the left hand side to spin out. But he's gone through very nicely and is set to purple middle sector as well. So purple so far for Thunderino. Let's see what he can round out the lap like as he approaches now the final corner. Very easy to run wide like Dale on track limits and invalidate your lap time, but he's got it through nicely. Only goes P2. Last Gen Newt setting the pace so far. Decent effort from Last Gen Newt. Billy Hellier for Haas, currently in P8, of course, does not set a lap time. Let's see what he can do. Pretty decent through turn 1. He's got to get a nice tow here from Thunderino actually. Are these guys working together a little bit? There's the Haas driver getting a fantastic tow from the Red Bull. It is only me on commentary today. Alex is on holiday and Antonio Bove has got some personal issues to deal with. So it is only me, unfortunately. You've got the joy of just me. Some say that's a good thing, some say probably a very bad thing, and I'd agree with the latter. But yeah, Billy Elliott, let's see what he can do as he approaches the Sector 2 timing line. We've got an Aston Martin there on the inside who dipped a tyre into the grass. You can see Billy Elliott sliding round the couple left-handers here. Flows it out pretty nicely though on the exit of that previous corner. Final 2 high-speed right-handers. Very easy to brush out wide like Billy's done there. Hopefully not doing it on the final one and running out of track limits, but he did it quite nicely. But unfortunately it does go the slowest of the times set so far. Unizeren, I'm going to go. I'm going to try to pronounce his name like that. Apologies if that is incorrect, but he's setting himself up for a flying lap time. Got 3 drivers left to set a lap time, but only 2 technically because Shadow has retired. I believe he might be doing a last first. Don't worry, we'll keep you company. Any predictions for today's race? I'm predicting a Thunderino win. I think that's pretty obvious. Considering his pace so far this year, I think that's a safe option, let's say. But yeah, Thunderino, very strong pace. But Last Gen Newt, don't count out him or Venkus, to be fair. And when Dale gets a lap together, he's going to be up towards the sharp end as well. So I'm going to go between Last Gen Newt and Thunderino. it's the obvious choice, but I think Thunderino is gonna come out on top today. Shortened race as well, so you don't have to you don't have to nurse your tyres too much compared to a 50% race. As you see, Uni's really struggling and fighting that car through these high-speed corners. One wrong input, one bit too much of an input, and you can oversteer your car massively. So Uni around the final corner. Nicely done. Up to the line. Where's it going to be? Replaces Billy Elliott and goes into P8. Come on, Dale. Let's get a lap together. He got around the entire lap until the final corner and his previous attempts were invalidated. So let's see if Dale can hook up a full lap here today. How about penalties? Penalties are going to be a strong point today. It is a reduced race, like I say, so the likelihood of a 50% race amount of penalties is unlikely, but it is very easy to brush out wide in the race as you push into the absolute limit. Turn 1, absolutely easy to grab penalties. Then the final 2 corners is killer for penalties as well. Aston Martin judging whether to get out of the way there, does eventually get out of the way nicely. There's the Williams here of Dale. FCDR Dale needs a lap time on the board to get himself up, hopefully into that top 3 area. But I do expect him to be challenging for pole position here, the FCDR driver, FCDR SimSport driver, along with last gen Nuke Thunderino. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. Let's have a look as he rounds the penultimate corner now, approaching the final approach, as Captain Steve would say. Anyone watch Captain Steve? He's absolutely brilliant. FCDR Dale does eventually go into that P3 zone, and he's in the fight for pole position here today. Thunderino is let past by Dale and is immediately invalidates. That's what I'm talking about. The track limits through turn 1 in the final corner. Easy done to overstep your mark as Jean-Claude takes a little lawn mowing trip into the grass, but that's okay. He can reset himself. I believe Gene will be leaving through the race like he has done a couple of times this season to join FCDR Tier 2 race, which is a reverse championship sprint race. So that's going to be an interesting one today in FCDR Tier 2. So keep an eye on that one if you're in the FCDR Discord server. We've actually just reached level 3, so it's discord.gg/Formula 0 Racing. There's a grid finder, round 5 out of 10. We're halfway through the season. Wiffon goes into P7. Jean-Claude, of course, having another whoopsie there. FCDR Dale is coming into the pit lane. Thunderino, I think, is he going to try again, or is he going to come into the pit lane? I think he's going to come into the pit. No, he's going to try again. Here we go with Thunderino. Let's ride on board. Let's have a sound up lap. As he runs out wide into the gravel, Thunderino. As you could hear the gravel spitting up onto the side of his bodywork there in the beautiful Red Bull car as Thunderino pulls into the pit lane. Last gen New is 2,000ths down on his provisional pole time. Can he improve through that middle sector? Of course, 2 timing screens to go, and one of them will be as he crosses the line. Is 2.5 tenths, so that's a quarter of a second up for Last Gen New. This could be a big lap here and get him into the low 103s. Are we going to see a high 2 today? I'm not sure, but Last Gen New rounding the penultimate corner now, as that is right to the limit and just oversteps it. Easy done. He would have actually got track limits on the final corner as well, as Venkus is not improving or not on a lap time. So right on board with Uni. There's Unit approaching now turn 4. It's quite difficult on your own actually, as I'm trying to respond to people trying to get invites. and commentate at the same time. There's good luck to Larry as well. He's actually hosting the reverse championship sprint after that. And he's got to set the grid, so I do feel quite bad for him. But there we go with Uni as he approaches the final corner. Round it nicely, a little bit deep, but he's kept it nicely in track limits. And Uni can improve on a 105 flat. Yes, he can. Improves by half a second, but still only enough for P8. What about Dale as he's backed off? Has he invalidated through turn 1? There's Dale, Mr. Dale. Right, 1 second. Yes, you will race into place of Kev the Slice. So he will be in Williams. Right, apologies guys. Any hints on what weather we can expect today? It is on dynamic, so I'm not actually too sure what the weather is going to be. It's looking obviously dry for the remainder of qualifying session. But in terms of the race, it's you can't really guess because it's up to the F125 gods for what weather it is going to be for the race. 35% though, so whatever it is, it's not going to be around for long. As Thunderino is pushing this car, you can see on the side of the car the dust and dirt from running off into the gravel just absolutely plays the nice bodywork of that. I still believe the Red Bull is probably the best looking livery out of all of them. I absolutely love it. Even though it's the same every single year, Thunderino one's bright, but he loses time, then cuts too much of the inside curve on the final corner, invalidates his lap time, so he's not going to be happy with himself there. He's got to get himself back into the pit lane and go again. Whiffon is on a lap time. He's approaching turn 4 now, so let's see what the Alpine driver can do. Can he get himself 4 tenths up, improved as Jean-Claude and Pinnock actually are on the exact same lap time. So if you can get 4 attempts here with on, he'll get up 2 places, which is probably going to be the maximum for him today is P5, as the top 4 are very, very quick, but he's nearing that 4 attempts up actually. With on, if he can keep improving like this, could actually see him into that fifth position. So with on round the penultimate corner now, a little bit wide, but that's okay. Takes it safe around the final corner. I don't blame him wanting to get the lap time on the board up to the line, and it is going to be P5 for Whiffon. Lovely stuff from the Alpine driver. Venkus backed out on his lap. Billy Hellier, let's ride on board with him as he approaches into turn 3. Tricky traction zone. You kind of want a short shift up into 3rd or 4th, depending on what gear you go into the corner with, as that will just settle your rear end down a little bit. As Billy through turn 4 runs out wide. Easy to bottom out. I've done it a couple of times in league racing through there. Easy to run out my bottom out and then spin the car around actually. I've done on a couple of occasions. Best believe I wasn't happy with myself on that one. But a 10th and a half up for Billy. He's going to need a bit more of an improvement from that. He's going to have to run a bit closer to the inside of track limits than that. But Billy Elliott still going and still trekking on. Around the penultimate corner now for the man in that. Runs out wide in the final. It's just so easy done. As you can see the consequences of it happening. Billy Elliott currently last of the runners. Venkus now approaching turn 4. That was nicely on the brakes. Scrubbed off a little bit too much of minimum speed, but that's absolutely a-okay as he continues his way towards the Sector 2 timing line. Are we going to see an improvement? Yes, we are from Venkus. This could challenge for pole position. 2 minutes remaining. The final laps are getting prepared. This is probably going to be Venkus's final lap. Venticus, sorry, Venticus, as he rounds the final corner now, nicely on track limits, leaving no margin for error. Venticus onto provisional pole by just under 2 tenths. Can anyone deny him? Last Gen New is down a few tenths, so it's not going to be him, unfortunately, at this moment in time. Jean-Claude's a little bit further on in the track. So we'll ride on board with the Aston Martin driver, who took pole positions a couple rounds ago in a surprise pole position actually for Jean-Claude. So we'll have to see if he can replicate that. Venticus has retired, so of course that is him done on provisional pole for now. Last Gen Newt is on a lap time, but obviously he was down on that, so maybe he'll back off and will he have time to go again? I'm not too sure. Thunderino also on a lap. Jean-Claude nicely up to the track limits there. Up to the line, goes into P5. Dale on a lap as well, but we're right on board with Last Gen Newt. I think he's going to go again as he's 3 seconds down. Yes, he is. So we'll ride on board with Dale. 6 tenths down though. I think he's going to try. Is he going to be able to have time? Yes, he's going to try again. So Thunderino, it is your time to shine. Currently in P3, needs this lap to go for provisional pole and for the final pole position, but Last Gen Newt is further on in the track up into turn 3. Very, very big incline up into turn 3 as well, so it's quite easy to get the car stopped, but then the traction on the exit is very, very difficult. Let's go, Venticus, absolutely. I had to correct myself on the name as I remembered. I've slept since we last had a stream, so, you know, I'm getting old, me. Last Gen Newt now approaching the Sector 2 timing line. It's a 10, but this is going to be close. I can't even handle this. This is going to be very, very close. The Sauber versus the McLaren versus the Red Bull versus the Williams. Jean-Claude is done and retires in the pit lane. In fact, I think he's actually backed it up and crashed. As Last Gen Newt up to the line. Can he retake pole position? No, he can't. What about Thunderino? What about Dale? Thunderino, a 10th and a half. This is going to be so close, man. This is actually going to be so close. Thunderino rounding the final couple corners now. The penultimate corner right here. 2 high-speed right-handers. Done that one nicely. Can he do this one nicely? He hasn't cut too much this time. And he flows it nicely up to the line. Is he going to be provisional pole? Not quite. Dale is 13 thousandths down. Runs a little bit wide, but just keeps it in track limits. Is it going to be enough to grab a couple more places? No. Venticus is going to be on pole as Pinnock goes into P4 right at the death there. So brilliant stuff from Venticus. As Evelini, you're going to be absolutely buzzing with that as Venticus is on pole position. Wow. Great qualifying. Great qualifying from Venticus. Great lap. 103.3. Not bad. Not bad, I say. But it's all to play for in the race. Right. Good luck to all the drivers. I'm not actually too sure what the strategy is on the 35% race. I'm assuming it's still medium hard unless they get the soft tyres out, but sure the softs just still die after a couple of laps. Have a great race, guys. Good luck, Venticus. Let's go. Absolutely fantastic lap from Venticus. Yes, if I had support like that in the chat, then I'd get pole position as well. Right, good luck to all the drivers. They should be ready up pretty shortly. Ready at 53. So it shouldn't be too much longer. These are crazy, 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 crazy nights. Love a bit of Kiss Me nowadays. Someone from work's put it on. Absolutely love it. Right, I can hear the countdown. It's time for lights out. As here we go. 35% shortened race, round 5 here in season 2 of Purple Sector. As the silence breaks and the battle begins, Thunderino gets a fantastic start on the side-by-side with Venkus into turn 1. And they're going to leave enough room for each other. Yes, they absolutely are. Venkus has got the better traction, though. And I think he's clear on the run up to turn 3. But Thunderino is going to go for the move. Round the outside, is it? As he's going to have to try brake as late as he possibly can to get the move done. But Venkus is coming back at Thunderino in the Red Bull. Little bit of a screen freeze. Thunderino's been struggling with a few PC issues. I think that was a screen freeze for him as Last Gen Newt is inside him, going for the move down into turn 4 as Thunderino's managed to pull out around the outside again. Can he make the move stick? Nearly contact from the Sauber driver behind as there's side-by-side between Dale and Jean-Claude as well. We'll catch on board with that one if we possibly can, but Thunderino and Venka still side-by-side. So Dale been pushed out wide by Jean-Claude, and Jean has got his elbows out and got that position nicely from Dale. So P5 for the Aston Martin, P6 for the Williams driver. Pinnock still sticking in that P4 range with his teammate leading the race and maintaining the lead of that race. Venticus, fantastic start, everything he wanted from the start of this race, and sets the fastest lap so far. Let's go, absolutely fantastic number on Venticus's car. That won't be able to be used next year because Valtteri Bottas is back. I am going to mention it every time I see the number. Wiffon is close to the back of FZR Dale. He's going to go for a move. There's a bit of contact, is there? I think it's just a little bit of lag, so it's right on board further up with Last Gen Newt and Pinnock. As Last Gen Newt just gets the better traction. Dale going back at Wiffon as Thunderino takes the lead of the race. Dale brakes as late as he possibly can to try and go around the outside of Wiffon, but I think Wiffon just has the better traction, so let's cut back to the lead as Thunderino side by side. You don't see many moves up the inside there as Jean-Claude nicely done up into P4 as well on Pinnock as everyone's been very respectful so far, which is fantastic to see. There's a little bit of a DRS break between Billy Hellier and Shadow, but everyone being nice and respectful. A little bit of a slide from Jean-Claude. Pinnock had to get out of the throttle to not smash into the back or get track limits. But yeah, Venticus still leads the way on lap 3 out of 25. Let's have a quick look at tyres if we can. There's a bit of a mix actually. Jean-Claude on the softs, but of course I think he is leaving very, very shortly to go to FZR. There's a spin at the back of that is uni. So mediums and hards is the way to go for these guys as Thunderino does take the lead of this race on the exit of turn 3. Jean-Claude and Pinnock side by side as well into turn 4, but these guys at the front still battling out. Give me a good camera angle please. Down the inside Thunderino goes as he tries to defend on the back of Venticus there. It's going to be a drag race into turn 6, I think it is. As yes, Thunderino does claim that place back. Pinnock and Jean-Claude side by side as well. Please give me a good camera angle. Please give me a good camera angle. Please give me a good camera angle. And we didn't get one. As Jean-Claude's had a bit of a wobble on the exit. As he has been overtaken. He's pulling into the pit lane. I think he's going to retire to go to FZR. He's got 4 minutes to join. So Jean-Claude is done and dusted in this race as he's going into the gravel there. 10-second time for spin in the pit lane, and he is done. Such a beautiful race. Absolutely, these drivers, they're pushing out, getting their elbows out, but they're giving everyone that bit of respect as well, which is great to see, and absolutely what you want to see. That's what I've always said about Purple Sector. Very respectful racing, but it's also very good racing, very hard racing as well. There's a Shadow on the back of Wiffon, and he's going to get the better traction here. He's got the slipstream. He's got the DRS. Has he got enough for the ERS? No, not quite. There's a Wiffon nearly went for a move on the back of Dale there as well. Dale's gone a little bit deep. I've been a bit of contact, but Shadow's took every opportunity he's got here. And he's going to go down the inside of turn 6. I really hope it's turn 6 now. He's got that place done. Lovely move from Shadow. So right on board with Last Gen Newt, he's just a sitting duck so far in this race, just sitting behind Thunderino and Venkus, waiting to pick up the scraps if anything does appear to happen. I think he had another little moment there. But yeah, here we go. Lap 5 out of 25, the square root of the laps, total laps of this race. So here we go. Thunderino up into turn 3. Is he going to get overtaken by Venkus? Venkus is going to try it, but I think he's just going to sit behind on this occasion. Braking very late, nearly hitting the diffuser of Thunderino. Once again, Last Gen Newt just staying where he is for now. Pinnock still where he started this race. Now let's have a look at position day. Shadow up 5 from the back of the grid, so he's on course for a good result, is Shadow, considering his start so far. And of course, he retired from qualifying, so Shadow in P6 on the back of Dale, looking to make the move as soon as he possibly can to ensure that he doesn't drop further back from the DRS of the top 4. Thunderino's pushing on a little bit this lap. Actually, he's got the gap to about 8 tenths. So if he's just got DRS as Venticus, sorry. So he's going to be okay for now. But Thunderino is absolutely pushing as he caught Venticus by a bit of a surprise here. And I don't know if he's going to have the DRS. No, he doesn't have the DRS, does Venticus, on Thunderino. So that's going to leave him vulnerable to Last Gen Newt, who into turn 3 is going to attack the McLaren driver around the outside, is it? They're going to push each other off track. That's a bit naughty from Venticus. And Pinnock said, thank you very much. And I've took that move. He's going to go for a double move here, is Pinnock, because he's got the DRS. Venticus does not have the DRS. The McLaren drivers swapping positions. Venticus and Last Gen Newt going side by side. A little bit of contact between the two. Elbows out between the McLaren drivers. Last Gen Newt's going to think, hang on a minute, I can pick up these scraps if these two collide side by side, which they absolutely have. But somehow, Venticus is still facing the right way and pointing forwards on the track. Last Gen Newt, a huge slide for Pinnock as well. Nearly dropped it, but Last Gen Newt has to settle for P4 behind the two McLarens. But that was some feisty racing. And I think any more than that, it might be over the limit, as Last Gen Newt just went over the limit and gets himself a 3-second time penalty for exceeding track limits one too many times. This is intense, it absolutely is intense. I can't even pass it over to Alex. Another huge slide for Pinnock. His tyres are going to resemble a 50p piece. If you know, you know. But yeah, Last Gen Newt pressing for the move, is it? Pinnock's definitely pressing for the move on Venticus here. A little bit of a lock-up on the inside of Venticus, but that is fantastic defending from the McLaren driver, from the Lithuanian, as he's getting attacked once again from Pinnock. Last Gen Newt's thinking, I can have a look down the inside here. He absolutely has, as the second McLaren, was forced to brake a little bit earlier behind his teammate. Last Gen Newt, it's going to be a drag race again to turn 6. Who is going to come out on top? Going to be round the outside for Last Gen Newt. Bit of a slide from Pinnock, but that's not put Last Gen Newt off. And he swoops around the outside. Beautiful, beautiful overtake from Last Gen Newt there. Absolutely fantastic. Dale picked up a 3-second time penalty. Let's look at the gap with that fight in 4.3 seconds, Thunderino. It just shows you battling for what, a lap and a half, 2 laps, and that gap has extended by about 4 seconds, which is crazy. So Thunderino, my prediction is on course for this race win at the moment. Shadow is again looking for a move on Pinnock. Hang on a minute here. There's all sorts of action going up into turn 3. These guys side by side, the Sauber driver and the McLaren. A little bit of they're going 3 wide. They're going 3 wide. I can't believe what I'm seeing. I cannot believe what I'm seeing. Are they going to go 4 wide? Give me a good camera angle, please. That's Thunderino. Down the inside, Venticus goes. A bit of a sandwich. Please give me a good camera angle. Look at these. Look at these guys. 4 drivers scrapping for the place. We're going to ride on board with Shadow. He's going to have the best view of this. Bit of contact between the two McLarens. As, oh my goodness me, I do not know where to look. As Pinnock swoops round the outside of 2 cars and takes the lead of this pack and this train. Not the lead of the race, but the lead of this train. This is absolutely insane. Pinnock in that McLaren. 6.7 behind Thunderino now. But that is a clip there for Pinnock, and he's going to look back on that one as Dale into the pit lane now for the change of tyres. I'm assuming he's from the mediums onto the hard compound tyres, but if racing's like that for the rest of the race, then you best stick around, guys. Absolutely free to enter as well if you'd like to get yourself involved. As up into turn 3. This is why I like Austria. It's just back to back to back to back. You can see these guys pushing to the limit down the inside the McLaren. He's got to get it stopped before he hits his teammate, which he absolutely has. Good respect there on the brakes from Venticus, but can't quite make the move as Last Gen Newt has the better traction on the McLaren driver. He's going to try brake as late as possible. Nearly runs into the back of Last Gen Newt. Of course, Last Gen Newt has that 3-second time penalty, but still plenty of laps to go for everyone else to get a penalty if they overstep the marks too much. Pinnock, can he try push away now with Last Gen Newt and Venticus battling? It's going to be difficult for him. Youssef is actually going for a move side by side here with Billy Hellier, and Billy takes that place back on the V-carb driver. Nice job from Billy Hellier there. So let's cut back to this lead pack. As I don't know where to look. I'm just going to grab a drink before we get back to turn 3, guys. As here we go. lap 10 out of 25. The laps are absolutely flying by. As Pinnock leads this mini train here. Are we going to see a move from the McLaren of Venticus, or are we going to see a move from the Sauber of last gen new Venticus? Oh, he broke a little bit too late there. And I think that caused him to just force a move down the inside. Otherwise, he was going to hit the back of Pinnock of last gen new, sorry. So Shadow is waiting it like the McLaren driver was before to pick up the scraps on these guys. Nearly drops it. That's why I say you can bottom out on that curb easily, and nearly drop the car. He's done well to collect that, actually, as the Mercedes driver of Shadow. But yeah, on we go again. Lap 11 into turn 3. Are we going to see any more moves as Thunderino's extended that gap to 8.6 seconds? That is absolutely crazy from the FZR drive. It just shows you the raw pace he absolutely has. When you're getting clean air, when you're not fighting, you can pull gaps like that. But I'm not doubting Thunderino's pace. He probably could have done that anyway. That's why he drives for FZR, guys. FZR setups. Oh, big tank slapper there from Venticus as well on turn 1 on the exit. You can just see that he's struggling with his tyres. I'm going to see a move from last gen new. No, he's going to stay behind. What about Shadow on Venticus? Also stays behind for now. What about the run into turn 4? Let's get a good camera angle, please, game. Let's not look at the halo. Okay, let's look at the halo, no problem. Last gen new down the inside into turn 4. As Pinnock tries round the outside to keep that place. And I'll tell you what, give me a good camera angle, please. We're going to ride on both Venticus as we get a bit of camera angle, bit of wheel banging as well as they go side by side. Nearly pushes last gen new off into the gravel as these guys absolutely getting their elbows out. Really, really hard fighting here as they're going to go into the penultimate corner side by side. Very high speed section. They're going to have to reduce the throttle input by about half to make sure they're both going side by side and come out alive. But Venticus and last gen new decide to come into the pit lane. Venticus and Shadow is meant to be together. Was there even a single race where they're not after each other? I don't think so, to be honest. They're the same in FZR. They absolutely love it. I'm assuming they're good friends in real life, or they just know each other. I know they're from the same country. But that doesn't mean they have to be friends, but I'm assuming they are friends because they are doing everything together all the time. Pinnock's on a very, very strong run, but I think this might be Pinnock's debut. So fantastic effort from Pinnock here. Started P4, obviously hasn't boxed yet, but he's up into P2. But only 2 cars who were in this train have boxed, so Pinnock could be on for a very, very strong result here. Even if it is where he started P4, that's a great result for a debut race in Purple Sector. He's going to pull to the right hand side because he's heading into that pit lane. Nicely done. The Alpine of Wiffon does decide to stay out, so right on board still with Pinnock as he gets this pit stop done, because we'll have to wait and see where Dale and last gen Newton Venkers come out. Dale could have pulled an absolute blinder of an undercut here, actually. As you can see, Dale round the final corner, so here he is. I think Dale, boxing a couple laps earlier, is up into P3. Fantastic result from Dale so far. Nice little strategy from the FZR SimSport driver. As you can see, last gen Newt 1.3 behind. Pinnock has come out behind these guys by about 2 seconds. That just shows you the power of the undercut. What was that, 1 lap and it's 2 seconds? That is crazy. And now these guys, Venkers and last gen Newt with the DRS, they should be able to just pull each other along and keep away from Pinnock. So that is absolutely devastating for Pinnock, who was on for a fantastic race result. But yeah, it's just been done by an early pit stop. Nothing he can do. He needs to get back in the DRS if he can, but it's going to be a struggle. Let's have a look at the tyres then. Everybody on the hards on the track so far. There's 2 drivers left to pit, Thunderino and Wiffon. Thunderino going to be absolutely clear. I'm assuming he's just going to wait until Wiffon stops before he comes into the pit lane. In fact, he should come in at the end of this lap, or lap 15, so that's when we should expect to see Thunderino box. But here we go, Venticus going to get the DRS from last gen Newt. Last gen Newt not quite going to get the DRS from Dale. Venticus sets the fastest lap, 106.359 I believe that was. I don't think there is a point in Purple Sector for fastest lap. I might be wrong, so please do not quote me on that. Venticus into turn 3. We haven't seen any moves into turn 3 for a while, so come on guys, let's chuck one down inside. Obviously clean please, but you know, let's have a look. There's Dale leading this mini pack now, as the tables have turned. He was struggling to stay in DRS, but now he leads the pack from boxing that bit earlier. But I do fear it's only a matter of time before last gen Newton Venticus do pass the FCDAR Sim Sport driver of FCDAR Dale, Alex Lansdale. We'll have to wait and see how this race plays out, because it's lap 15 now. Thunderino is going to box probably this lap, as Wiffon has now boxed, so he's going to get a clean stop, a free stop, and he's going to be well out in the lead of this race. So no safety car can stop this man now, as he will be in the lead of the race no matter what. Wiffon, of course, is dropping down the order, as he is going to come out in P7 behind Shadow. So Wiffon's got a bit of ground to make up. Can he get past Venticus? Not past Venticus, past Peanut, sorry. He's still struggling to get into the DRS. As there we go. First move on Dale is last gen new. Venticus is going to try for the move. He's got a bit of battery as well as the McLaren driver, so he needs to make the move pretty soon. Dale's attacking back though, is he? Down the inside? No, he's not. As Venticus says, thank you very much. Round the outside. If you're not going to attack, I'll attack on you. Bit of contact between the two. I'm assuming Venticus is going to take the place no matter what now, but no. Dale sticks in the P3 spot, as Venticus has to stay behind, so that is going to compromise Venticus there, as Dale has dropped out of DRS from last gen new. This is absolutely huge for last gen new. This is absolutely crucial for last gen new, because if Venticus can't pass Dale on the next straight, then he's going to be struggling to get back in the DRS. Lap 16 out of 25. Thunderino still staying out, which is a surprise to me. Maybe that is the strategy. But here we go. Venticus not using that much overtake, so I think he's just happy, considering Dale still has the DRS. I think if it was a bit closer to that 1 second window, I think he would have been pushing for the move. But Venticus needs to get past Dale as soon as he possibly can now. Right, let's ride on board with Thunderino, and he is coming into the pit lane this lap. Lap 16 out of 25. The timing screen is going to tick over to lap 17 as you cross the line when you enter this pit lane. So Thunderino is going to get rid of the hards, going to get rid of the white banded hards, and he's going to put on the yellow banded medium compounded tyre. So here we go. For Thunderino, he's going to be well clear in the lead of this race. You can see last gen note just passing the final corner now, and Thunderino is already out on the pit exit. So Thunderino, fantastically executed race from him so far. The gap's probably going to be about 5 seconds, just under maybe 3, yeah, about 4 seconds. 3.2 once it settles out, or 3 seconds. But last gen note and Dale have got himself a 3-second time penalty. Venticus finally does make the move on Dale there into turn 3. That chrome liveried McLaren looks absolutely beautiful, as Dale's going to try back down the inside here. Actually, Dale's going to go for it. He's got the DRS, he's played a bit of DRS games, and Dale back up into P3, but he's lost the DRS. So Venticus, this could be troubling for him, as he's trying to stay in that 3-second window of last gen new. But if they keep battling like this, then there's no way he's going to get in that window and take that place off last gen new from the end of this race. Lap 17 out of 25. Still a long way to go. Dale, is he starting to struggle on his sides, running a little bit deep through that left-hander, but we've got 2 seconds as the gap now, so Venticus needs to get past Dale here. He needs to get past Dale before the DRS line of turn 3, so he has the DRS down to turn 4. Does that make sense? Yeah, even if he does get clear past Dale in turn 3, Dale is going to get the DRS and just do what he did on the previous lap and get straight back past him into turn 4. So let's see the timeline. The DRS line is just before the braking zone, I believe, in this next corner. So Venticus, there it is. You can see the white line there. So he's going to stay behind in turn 3. He's going to try go for the move in turn 4 and pull away in the remainder of this lap if he can get past him. It's absolutely critical that Venticus makes a move down the inside. Now he's going to go for it very late on the brakes. Dale's going to go for the switchback. Can he get the better traction on those hard compound tyres, which are pretty worn so far? Venticus is going to try back down the inside, is he? Yes, he absolutely is. Down the inside, scrubbing up at a bit of speed with the turning. Round the outside, Dale swoops past and keeps that place. Wow. This is great racing, I'll be honest. This is fantastic racing. And look who's back. Look who's back. It's Pinnock. With these guys fighting, he's brought himself back into the fight for P3. The fight for P2, actually, if they can get past Dale here and push on into that 3-second window, which Venticus has lost now to Last Gen Newt. So Last Gen Newt on for a fantastic result of P2 here today. Thunderino's already doubled his gap since his pit stop to 6 seconds. Pinnock's going for the move here into turn 3. Is it going to be a double move? He's going to cut to the inside. He's going to drive round the outside. As the McLaren's actually going for the move of Venticus on Dale here. I don't even know where to look. I don't even know how to commentate this. There's Venticus. Going to go for the move surely now on Dale into turn 4. Pinnock's also pushing for the move, gunning for the move down the inside. Bit of contact between the two. And Pinnock's going to say, alright lads, I'll just go around outside 2 cars at once. There you go. See you later. Adios. Very smart racing there from Pinnock. Waited for his opportunity and absolutely pounced at the pounced at the opportunity. I don't know if you know what I'm saying here, but Shadow is back in it as well. Venticus fighting so hard and it shows. I'm so proud. Could we also see tyres? Absolutely, you can see tyres. As Dale runs a little bit wide there. 3-lap old mediums for Thunderino. He's dead set to win this race unless something catastrophic happens. Hards for P2 down to P6. Got mediums for Whiff on, and then the rest of the grid on the hard compact tyres. So here we go back again into turn 3. Shadow making a move now on Venticus, who falls down to P6. Oh, that's late braking. That's late braking. Shadow's absolutely outbroke himself there and smashed into Dale. I'm assuming Shadow's going to give the place back to Dale there, unless he's probably going to be picking up a penalty for that one. If Dale wants to report that. But yeah, Shadow's completely missed his braking point into turn 3 there. He smashes into the side of the Estar Sim Sport driver. He's not having his best race today, is Dale, but that's okay. 5 rounds still to go. We've got a spinner there of Unit in turn 3. I'm assuming he's locked the rears there or got on the power too early. I think it was in the braking zone, so I'm assuming he's just broke too hard, locked the rears, and the car's spun itself round Whiff on. Venticus picks up a 3-second time penalty, so he can't quite make the gain on Pinnock anymore. He's 2 seconds up the road now. Pinnock's on some fantastic pace here. I'll tell you what, 1.7 to gain, and he could be in the window of Last Gen Newt's penalty. As Shadow swoops past in the DRS as well. On lap 21 out of 25, we're into the business end of this race. Shadow just about gets it stopped in turn 3. Don't like that corner, does he? But yeah, let's ride on board with Thunderino whilst it settles down a little bit. Or is Shadow, is Venticus going to go for a move? Venticus is going to go for a move, is it? No, not quite. So yeah, let's ride on board with Thunderino. Let's see him navigate the final couple of corners, because he is absolutely flying at the moment. As he approaches on to lap 22 now of 25. 7 seconds in the lead. It's just been absolutely dominant from Thunderino. I Strike Thunder, as he's known on Grid Finder. If you're following the championship on Grid Finder, I Strike Thunder is Thunderino. So yeah, fantastic driver, championship leader, and it's absolutely shown today why he's the championship leader with pace like this. Here we go then, lap 22 out of 25. We're only going to have 3 more visits into turn 3. 3 more opportunities for fantastic racing. Now we're going to see any moves on this lap into turn 3 or even into turn 4. Dale's absolutely got some overspeed here on the back of Venticus. As I have I'll be honest with you, not a clue what just happened. He outbroke himself, but then lagged back, and then we were inside him. So let's just pretend that didn't happen. I think he's got some connection issues with Dale there, because surely would have got spun around there. But yeah, no action into turn 4, unfortunately, on this occasion, as there's only one driver in the DRS range, or in slipstream range, of the car ahead, and now that is Venticus on Shadow. So let's have a look. As we approach lap 23 out of 25, Thunderino does start lap 23 out of 25, and it's just been absolutely brilliant from Chrissy Spillacoris. He's got about 5 different names. Chrissy Spillacoris is his FCDR name. Thunderino is his Grid Finder name. But then on Gridfinder Championship, it's High Strike Thunder, which is his Discord name. So who knows what he wants to be called? Who knows? He can be called what he wants. But today, he's Thunderino, and he's winning this race. You can tell I'm on my own, can't I? Because I'll just start yapping towards end. Bit of a lock-up, though, into turn 4, Thunderino. I don't think that's going to concern him too much. As Venticus now on the back of Shadow. Can he take back? He needs it on track as well, because they've both got themselves a 3-second time penalty. So this is for position. This is for position for P4 in this race. I don't think Pinnock's going to quite be able to get in that 3-second window of last gen nuke to get P2. He's gained a couple attempts. Never mind. Never mind. Commentator's curse. Commentator's curse. 3-second time penalty again for last gen nuke. And that is Pinnock up into P2 at this moment in time. Wow. Pinnock's got a bit drive. Even though Thunderino has been absolutely dominant today, I think Pinnock's driver of the day for me. As he has absolutely controlled his pace very, very well. And for a Davidson, he's looked very, very strong. So hopefully we'll see him next week as well. And the remainder of the rounds in Season 2 of Purple Sector, which there are 5 rounds to go. Completely free to enter. Just Google Grid Finder, and then you can search using their search function the Purple Sector Championship. They'll be advertised on the homepage though for Purple Sector, but yeah, if you can't find it, just search in their search feature Purple Sector. Completely free to enter, prizes to be won as well. And I'll tell you what, you can win some fantastic sim racing gloves and setups provided by SRC. Broadcast brought to you by FZR. There's a Thunderino, the FZR driver, last gen nuke, currently in P2, but he's going to get pipped by Pinnock at the moment. He's about to start the final lap of this race. His Thunderino has been controlled, it's been dominant, it's been fantastic from Thunderino. He's only got about 1 minute and 10 seconds to go until he can cross the line as victorious. As the race winner here today. As Thunderino has been absolutely fantastic today. He's going to take no risks here. He's just going to bring the car home. This beautiful Red Bull livery. Let's cut on board to Venticus as he approaches turn 3. He's run wide to try and get... He's using track limits. I don't even blame him to try and get the best run on Shadow here. Is there going to be a move into turn 4? I don't think it's going to be close enough into turn 3. So we are going to have to wait until turn 4. But I don't think he's got enough battery. You can just see he's had all the wheel spin in the world. And I don't think Venticus is going to be close enough to make a move. Or is he? Or is he? Is he going to chuck one up the inside? Yes, he is. He's going to try his best, but Shadow's broke late to compensate for that. Dale and Whiffon fighting till the end. Whiffon does manage to keep that place. Thunderino round the final corner now. It's been brilliant from the Red Bull driver. The championship leader is weaving at the end of the race. It's been fantastic from Thunderino. He's going to do a power slide across the line to win here in round 5 in the Styrian Hills of Austria. Last gen nuke's going to come across the line in P2 on track, but Pinnock, fantastic race. My driver of the day is going to take P2 because he did not get a penalty. Last gen nuke P3, Shadow P4, Venticus P5, Whiffon in P6. Dale is going to come across the line in P7. Then it's going to be Youssef, Billy Hellier and Unix to cross the line in P10. Fireworks going off outside my house with Thunderino. And that is the Austrian Grand Prix. Congratulations to all the drivers, everyone who finished, picked up a point here today, at least. So yeah, that just shows you, staying until the end can get yourself some points. So thank you to everyone who joined in today. It's been a cracker of a race, some fantastic battling has been on display. Interesting race, thanks to the stream, Ben. See you in the next one, absolutely. And if you're interested as well, FZR Tier 1 is back on Wednesday. Twitch.tv/FZR Racing for that one, for Tier 1. There's some thriller battling just like in here. But don't forget, next round in Purple Sector. Let's actually have a look at the results first, then we'll look what the next round is going to be in Purple Sector. Because if we have racing like that, then you surely got to come back and watch. Surely you've got to come back and watch on that. There we go, let's grab the results then. Thunderino, Pinnock and Last Gen Nuke is your podium. Fantastic race from all 3 of those. Just unfortunate for Last Gen Nuke picking up that 3-second time penalty at the end to take his total to 6. But still, You can't complain with a podium, surely. There's upload file, just for Charlie Spencer in the Discord, F125, session results, 7th of the 11th. There we go. Right, let's cut on to the track layout and round number. That was the Austrian Grand Prix. Round 6 is Japan. I don't think I've commentated Japan this game, so it's gonna be good actually. I'm excited. Alex should be back with me next week as well. He's on holiday today. He's absolutely living his life. I'm not going to say where, but he's absolutely loving it. All inclusive he's gone for. I don't blame him. Nice and cheap as well. He's definitely making profit. Let's just say that. But yeah, thank you very, very much for joining, guys, and we'll see you all next week. I'm just going to scan the chat again just to see if there is any more questions in the chat, but I'm assuming not. Nope. So thank you very, very much for watching, and we'll see you all next week. Adios.